General Thomas, let me just ask you the same question. What does winning look like in Syria, and have we won? I mean, are we satisfied with where we are in terms of SOF's mission there and what you feel that you've been tasked to accomplish?
Senator, again, I'd be hesitant to use the term winning as opposed to the objective. I think our reasonable objective is to reduce the threat in that area and to be able to maintain persistent capabilities so that an external threat cannot emanate from that area in the future. There.
And just on that point about reaching a point where the external threat can't emanate from that region, are you satisfied, General, that we're at that point where an external threat from VEOs cannot emanate from Syria? I mean, do you think we've accomplished that objective?
I do not think we're there yet. We're on the verge of diminishing the threat, and then in the process of determining what the residual capability needs to remain in place in the region to ensure that we're securing that securing that objective. I probably failed to answer Senator King's question earlier. The way we look at the current context is very similar to 2011. So the recent annual assessment we did reflects on 2011 when al-Qaeda in Iraq was badly down but not out, and we pulled out of Iraq at that point. And we know that in less than 2 years' time, they were ISIS, running the deck through Nineveh, running the deck through Anbar. So how we finish that threat, or at least contain it going forward, is of critical concern.
And what's true of our troops is true of enemy forces as well, right? It helps them to have a safe, secure physical base from which they can carefully plot attacks outside of that base.
Yes, Senator, they thrive on sanctuary, and they're actively seeking sanctuary right now if they lose their toehold in Syria and other places.
General Thomas, I also want to go back to the question about how confident are you that, given the estimates on the number of ISIS fighters who have gone underground, who may be operating out of Iraq or other places in the Middle East, that we will be able to contain that threat if we no longer have operations in Syria, given the complexity there?
Senators, as I mentioned, this has been one of the most complex challenges that our force has dealt with in quite a while. I am concerned that we are not overly restricted in the end state, and I don't honestly know what that is. There's several planning efforts ongoing with a focus to maintaining what we've gained so far, to focus to ensure that there is no external attack capability coming out from a morass of bad actors, admittedly bad actors, many of whom are just regional, local types. So we're in the throes of trying to do the right planning and preparation to provide the nation options to make sure that's not a shortcoming, and we have a revisit to the 2011 recurrence.
And how much of a threat continues from Turkey to the Syrian Democratic Forces and their continued work on the ground?
Senator, there has been friction is an understatement right from the very beginning in terms of our choice of a partner force. Truthfully, it was a necessary choice. It was the only force really available, and their relationship with the Turkish government. Again, I would commend both General Scaparrotti, General Votel, senior leaders who have been trying to work through that friction and stay focused on the counter-ISIS effort, which is why we're out there. But it has been a challenge, but I think we are certainly addressing Turkish sovereign interests and concerns as we stay focused on ISIS.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope we're also continuing to support SDF, who have been such good partners with us in the arena.